Hopefully this doesn't sound too terrible. This room is not particularly well soundproofed at this point. It's probably pretty echoey. Anyway, hi. Hello. I haven't made one of these kinds of videos in a while. One of these ones where I just sort of sit back and talk, and mostly just that. What you're watching is just my alt account in Old School RuneScape making some blood runes because I can, I guess. Look, I got the pet and everything. If there are content warnings, they'll be in the title of the video. There will probably be at least one. But I wanted to just, mostly for my own sake, sit here and talk at myself and, I don't know, hope that maybe somebody out there in the universe will pay attention to me. My life has been kind of shit for a long time at this point. Like, whenever I sit back and I think about it, and I think about everything I've been through, I'm continuously... I'm not shocked, I'm not surprised. I guess I am kind of impressed that I've managed to survive this long. I have a brain that very distinctly does not want to survive or exist or be alive. And yes, that is exactly what it sounds like. I have recurring suicidal tendencies, and I've had them for... God, I don't even know. I think the first times that I remember thinking about that were like, I was 8 years old, like 3rd grade. I had this history. When I was born, I had a long list of life-threatening food allergies to my name, which, if you're not aware of what that is, it basically, if I ate any food on that list, there was a good chance that it would kill me. And when you're born with something like that you have to contend with, where eating the wrong thing even once can send you to the hospital, and eating the wrongest, which is not a word, the most wrong thing once will kill you, you kind of have to come to terms with your own mortality very, very early in life. You have to face death very early. You have to become so keenly aware of how fragile your own existence is. In some ways, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It does mean that you kind of mature faster, like just as a human being. But mostly what it meant for me was that I ended up with constant thoughts of like either wishing I was dead or wishing I wasn't alive, which are in a lot of ways kind of distinct. I've been having more and more issues lately with that coming back. It's not even coming back, it's always there. It's still weird to me that that isn't just like a default thought process for everyone out there ever who is conscious or sapient or whatever the term is. Like, I can't even go a goddamn day in my life without having at least one thought cross my mind of wishing I was dead. Just sitting here like, why can't I just get Donnie Darko'd and a frickin' plane engine fall out of the sky and just perfectly crush me and nothing else, right? A stray bullet or something from some maniac outside with an assault rifle or whatever. Like, this is, I live in America, so of course that's inevitable. No, it's not. Maybe it is, I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's been particularly bad as of late, especially in these last 3 years since getting illegally fired from my job at Nintendo and having to go through all that long, arduous legal bullshit that I did, that kind of catalyzed a fallout with first my parents and then my friends who took me in after my parents kicked me out for I guess their I don't know, that's a whole conversation unto itself. But then those friends basically did the same thing. And then as of a few weeks ago, I lost my primary social circle that I've had for quite a few years at this point. In that particular case, because it's still fresh, it's on my mind a lot more, but I think that happened because it turns out that when you're as damaged and broken as I am, even the people who care the most can't put up with you. I can't blame them for that. Kind of ironic. But I've just had, like, social catastrophe after social catastrophe for 3 years straight. 4 of them, technically, if you include being ousted from my job all at once for no good reason. And I'm 30 years old. I'm not that old, but I feel like I've lived a dozen lifetimes. I'm tired. I'm lonely. I'm so isolated. And, like, I don't even know to what degree that's my fault or not anymore. Like, I can't tell. There's a tendency that I've heard of and that I've experienced personally of people who have recurring suicidal ideation to self-isolate. And it's not just recurring suicidal ideation. That can happen for all sorts of reasons, but specifically because that's the one that kind of has defined most of my existence ever, the suicidal thing. There's this tendency to self-isolate. Sometimes that happens because you just, like, you convince yourself that nobody cares about you, or you convince yourself that nobody can care about you. You convince yourself that you're so thoroughly broken that there's no saving you, so nobody should help. You don't want to be a burden. You shouldn't put yourself in a position where you can be a burden. The farther away you are from people, the less you're going to hurt them. Because that's just what always happens. It always turns out that you're so non-functional, you're so broken in the head that people run. No matter how much they love you, they run away. Or even worse, they can't help you, but they try to anyway, and it just makes everything worse, like my parents did. Yeah. It's such a catch-22. When you live with that recurring suicidal, whatever the hell, I think suicidality is a word technically. When you live with that for so long, you stop letting on that this is a thing that you deal with. Right? It's if you want to keep those people around that even just their presence can technically help get you through the hardest of times, you can't scare them away. You can't say or do things that will freak them out. You have to bottle everything up, which is effectively emotional self-isolation, which is not safe. I mean, it is safe. It's safe because it's a status quo. It's safe because it's familiar to you. But it is ultimately not safe because all that bottling up your emotions for years and years does is cause you to explode down the line, and then something drastic happens. Which, you know, when you have recurring suicidal ideation, something drastic can be taking your own life. I'm laughing because as I say these things out loud, they sound so goddamn obvious. And maybe they are, I don't know. But then again, apparently, having recurring suicidal thoughts in your head for, like, you know, 20-something of the 30 years you've been alive is not normal. You'd think that I could go, like, find a therapist or something. And sure, that is technically a possibility. That is literally a possibility. That is something that I am capable of doing. I've done it before. But what's the point? I ended up growing into somebody who has actual obsessive-compulsive tendencies. I don't know if I could be diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder, but I know that I show signs of having it, and in a lot of ways that manifests as a sort of obsession with efficiency in places where it doesn't really matter. Like say you're walking down the sidewalk, you're walking down the block, and you need to cross the road, but it's a busy road, so you go to a crosswalk, right? I'm one of those idiots that instead of walking in the crosswalk, I will walk like 3 feet away from it just because that shaves off 1 step from my total journey. Because that's the kind of efficiency that I find interesting. You save seconds, you save milliseconds, you save 10 calories, you save, 3 gigajoules of electricity. I don't know. What I'm getting at with this is that this level of efficiency obsession, so to speak. Obviously, it has made me very good at a game like old school RuneScape, but what it's also done is it's in tandem with the suicidal ideation and the lack of self-worth that I have, has turned me into somebody that can't stop thinking about how it is more efficient as far as the physical processes that dictate reality itself to kill yourself. It is. You know why? It's more efficient because ultimately the end result of the universe is most likely going to be heat death. And the fact that you are alive and you exist and you're doing anything at all means that you are fundamentally not in a state of pure equilibrium, which is what the heat death of the universe will be in trillions and trillions of years, or however long. And even on a shorter scale than, like, grand ultimate cosmic scale, we're all gonna die. It is inevitable. Even if by some miracle humanity finds a way to quote-unquote cure aging, we're all still going to die eventually. Statistically, even if people are immortal, something is going to destroy their biological processes and they will no longer be alive. In my case, in the year 2025, in the 21st century, especially living in the United States of America, I'm going to die eventually. It is mathematically more efficient to just get it over with. To just be done. It is. It just is. So, like, I grew into somebody who has a mild obsession with efficiency, and then that particular thought crosses my mind, while I've also become somebody who has constant suicidality running through my head at all times, even if it's just in the background. It's always there. this is not an easy way to exist. I have, like, there are things that I should be doing. I should be, I don't know, I should be going for a walk every day. It's better for my physical health. But what difference does that make if I'm going to die eventually anyway? I should be eating a more balanced diet, which, for the record, I actually do eat a balanced diet. But, like, I should probably eat healthier. But again, who cares? What difference does it make? I'm going to die eventually anyway. Everything in my life that I could do or have done, that would improve my quality of existence is completely dashed by the stupid but seemingly infallible logic of, I'm going to die anyway, it's not worth it. It's not worth the money, it's not worth the time, it's not worth the energy. Who cares? I'm not even sure what keeps me going at this point. I ate a single meal today. I don't think I'm going to eat anything else. But I ate a meal. I ate food. Why did I do that? I don't even know. Like, once upon a time, I'd say that I continued being for the sake of other people, the people around me. As of now, I live with my brother in an apartment, right? If I were to just die, he would suddenly be burdened with a fucking extra mountain and a half of stress that he didn't need. He's already got enough going on. He doesn't need me being dead. But again, everything like that just flies in the face of the logic of I'm gonna die anyway. I try to live with this sort of, like, I guess you could call it a mantra, a guiding principle of maximizing happiness for as many people as possible, because life is short, right? Life is short, we're all gonna die, everything sucks. Existing is painful. Why not just try to make it good for everybody? To the degree that you're able. Maybe it sounds kind of noble, but like a few weeks ago when I lost my primary social circle, that happened because they couldn't handle helping me anymore. They couldn't handle my problems and me needing to talk about them and craving some sense of being heard and understood and not being alone. They couldn't handle that. No matter how much I tried to be good to them and support them and listen to them and love them, it didn't matter. Which is a whole conversation unto itself about how the internet is completely and totally destroying everyone's ability to have healthy, functional interpersonal relationships, and I can't see any way that isn't true. Sigh. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with any of this or what any of this is. A lot of it is just me venting for the sake of venting, but, like, again, what difference does it make? I'm gonna die eventually anyway. All of these thoughts in my head are still going to be there. That's not gonna change. I've tried talking to therapists before. Okay, I've tried therapy. I have never found a therapist that actually can help me at all. And the ones out there that do, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, I'm sure they exist. Their services are very expensive, and I live in the United States of America. I can't afford anything. I haven't been able to find a job in the last 3 years. I had an interview just last week, and they said no. That was my first interview after applying for, like, probably at least 250 or 300 jobs in the games industry specifically, but also beyond that, over the last 3 years. And they said no. What am I supposed to do? I mean, like, I'm in a position currently in life where, like I said, I live with my brother, and I haven't had a job in 3 years. I haven't had an income, and we've been surviving because that man is a miracle. It's one of the few things that actually surprises me is the fact that he just keeps going despite everything he's been through, which is not my place to talk about. But, like, just because I don't actively need a job does not mean that it wouldn't be, like, the best thing for me. To give me... just to have a place to go where I have people to be around that I not only can, but kind of need to interact with. I don't seem capable of finding that on my own outside of an environment where it is predestined, I guess, prescribed. School or college or a job. I need that. I need a job. The money would allow us to actually move somewhere where there isn't dog shit in the hallways, which, yes, there was in fact dog shit in the hallways yesterday for some godforsaken reason. I don't know why. But then I think about needing a job, and I think about the kinds of jobs that exist, especially the ones that I can get to, because no income can't justify driving. My tabs are expired, so I can't afford to technically drive anywhere anyway, because if I do, I'm breaking a law. Great. Which means I'm limited, and then my options there are jobs that they just won't answer me, or they say no, or they're jobs that will make me want to kill myself, which is an active problem that I've had with every job I've ever worked, even when I worked at Nintendo, working on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which was for me functionally a dream job. I still got to a point where the suicidality overwhelmed everything else. Why would I go find a job, like at the goddamn grocery store across the street? Why would I go work there if I know that working retail is only going to accelerate that train of thought? That's all it's ever done. Why would anything different ever happen? The only way something different would happen is because I make something different happen. I do something different. I've done something different every time, and the end result is the same every time. I lose my job for stupid reasons that are out of my control, or I become so incredibly depressed and suicidal that going to work is actively dangerous for me. Is there any other... Oh, I did not mean to run away this early. I need to fill my inventory. Yes, I'm still crafting blood runes. What of it? Never ends. Most of this video is just me being contemplative, however that's pronounced. I don't have outlets currently. There are outlets that I could technically use, but how do I put this? I have incredibly bad ADHD, which makes doing anything, especially using any of those outlets, extremely difficult. And up until a week and a bit ago, I was on an ADHD medication for the first time in my life that was technically helping. But then when I went to go talk to my doctor for a follow-up about the new med after 6 weeks, they completely disappeared, and nobody seems to know where they are. And I don't have the means to pursue that. I just don't. I can't. It's every setback that ever hits me whenever I try to improve things isn't just like, it isn't just a setback. It feels like somebody just fucking took a baseball bat to my kneecaps every time, no matter how major or minor the setback is. It always feels that way. And then I end up like I have been for this last week. I barely get out of bed. I somehow still miraculously eat food. Once a week I leave the apartment to buy more food. Why? I don't even know why, because I do. Because sometimes, by some miracle, I have an actual mood that isn't, like, garbage, and I can think and function for a little bit. I live in a capitalist society, a capitalist hellscape, as people like to call it. I live in a country that is on the cusp of complete and total political and or socioeconomic self-destruction. What with the upcoming presidency, whenever the fuck that starts. I had only just started finding a way to actually get myself some gender-affirming care. I had only just barely started, man. Just barely. If anything, I'm ironically kind of lucky that I hadn't started sooner, because then I won't be as openly out as queer. Which is also a whole discussion unto itself. There's so many things that I could just talk about, and I could just go on, and all of them somehow, some way, circle back to how broken I am, and how much I've been hurt by both myself and my life. And I don't know if that's productive. I don't know if that's effective. I don't know if that accomplishes anything. Like, venting for the sake of venting isn't inherently bad, but as I learned a few weeks ago, apparently, if you're so damaged that you have to vent a lot, people run away from you. Or worse, they blame you for it. Like, yeah, sure, I'm actively making the choice to want to kill myself all the time, because that's a thing that people do. Normally. Totally. Yeah, sure. I just... Yay, the Warriors Guild music. The music you've been hearing is just a compilation of some old school RuneScape music. And because I am human and you are human, the tone of music that you hear does have a tendency to influence things. I know that this song sounds kind of determined, optimistic. Can I skip this? I can skip this. I'm skipping it. Sure, whatever. That's better. Maybe I just want the mood of this video to be sour, somber. Fucking, I don't know. I don't know why anybody would still be listening at this point, but if you are, thanks for that, I guess. I say that every time I've ever made one of these talking videos. Every time. I don't know why anybody would still be paying attention, but if you are, I appreciate it, thanks. Yada yada yada. Like, it's just another one of those stupid cycles. Perpetuating cycles like that does not fix anything. But why would I even fix anything? What is there to fix? I'm broken. If a machine completely breaks down, you can't switch out parts. You can't repair the damn thing. It's busted. Why would you keep it? Nostalgia? Human pack bonding instincts? I don't know. I have been struggling as of late, trying to find some kind of social connections anywhere that aren't the internet. I guess I kind of alluded to this earlier, but I've reached the conclusion at this point in my life that having online friendships is actively bad for me. It is simply destructive. Because I am such a broken person. I'm skipping this song too, I don't care. I am such a broken and damaged person that I have needs of the people around me that the vast majority of people can't fulfill. And that tends to get exacerbated by having close online friends. Because those friends are physically far away. I can't hear them. I can't see them. I can hear and or see them sometimes, but that's very rare for me. Dragon Tooth Island might be better. Sure. That's rare for me. And when I end up having those times when I desperately need somebody to listen to me, I always end up apparently coming across as self-deprecative or pessimistic or something like that. And because my friends are all online, they can ignore me. It's fine. Like, that's... having that kind of boundary is totally okay. If they can't handle me, they can't handle me, and I understand that. But when I have those times, and I'm hoping that somebody is there at all, and I get ignored, that hurts. That hurts a lot. How can I not feel like when that happens, nobody cares about me? Nobody cares about my lack of efficiency at killing myself. People online are just a series of letters. They're nothing else than that. There is nothing in my head that can take a string of letters responding to you in a Discord channel and convert that into a real living human being, no matter how hard I fucking try. They're not real. They're so far away. They have the easiest means of just putting up a wall. And suddenly, the connection that might or might not exist between me and them is moot. It's gone. It's irrelevant. It means nothing. And, like, that happens to me a lot. That's happened to me so many times. And it's probably just going to continue happening as long as I keep trying to have friends at all. I can't keep doing that to myself. I have had the urge to just, like, completely delete my Discord account so many times for the last year. And that urge is stronger than ever right now. I want to just kill it. I need to get off of that and get back into the real world, because humans were not built for that. Humans were not... We're not wired to understand that. We're not wired to have that capacity for, like, simultaneous self-isolation and yet drive to socialize. That's not a thing. The internet was such a fucking mistake, man. It wasn't worth it. So then, like, if I'm gonna just pull away from the concept of having long-distance friends, what does that leave me with? I don't know how to socialize outside of that. I don't even seem capable. I'm too fucking autistic, apparently. and depressed and suicidal. I'm left in this position of nothingness. There's nothing here. There's nothing going on. I'm empty. My life is empty. What am yeah, sure, the obvious solution there is to fill it with something, but like what? I have no money. I live in a capitalist society and I have no fucking money. I can't do anything. And the things that I can do that cost nothing, I've already done. Or even worse still, doing them is irrelevant because I have this stupid ass brain that has its own dumbass problems with doing things, which is yet again a whole other topic. I kind of care about the audio quality of videos that I upload to my YouTube channel, and I'm very sorry if it has been particularly bad this time. I'm sure it is very echoey, and I'm sure I've made a lot of sounds that don't make for good listening. Whatever. Fill it with something, huh? It's empty. Fill it with something. Fill it with what? I'm sure there are free things that I can go and do, but again, why do them? It's inefficient. I'm gonna die anyway. The more I do stuff, the more I have to sustain my body, which means I would have to technically eat more calories to have enough energy to do things, which costs me money. Food costs money. It always circles back to that. There's no reason to do anything. It's not efficient. Most of the time I find myself doing things, I'm doing them because I'm doing them, not for any other reason. Very occasionally I have those times, there's moments where I'm able to act with some kind of intention or purpose. Go to QFC because I want to buy a specific brand of instant ramen, for example. That happens sometimes. Like, I get it, I know that. To some degree, being able to just completely and thoroughly focus on those kinds of things, the little things, is a valid way to live your life. It's a way to fill that emptiness. But it doesn't really fill it. It doesn't really put a whole lot in there at all. Once upon a time, I could probably fill my life with things like video games or books or something. I read probably thousands and thousands of books growing up, and then I just stopped reading because public school. Excuse me. Because public school just completely obliterated any sense of love I had for reading, just destroyed it. Watch movies, read books, play video games, go to a coffee shop and spend money. Yeah, right. Any money I spend isn't mine anyway. I don't have a job, remember? You know how hard it is to be willing to spend the money that somebody else earned? It's horrible. When you already have, like, a negative sense of self-worth. Man. You know, the last time I watched a movie was Pacific Rim. It was not too long after it left theaters. Whenever anybody talks about movies, if they ever in any way, like, ask me for any input, that's all I ever have to say is I don't watch them. I haven't watched a movie in 12 years. I don't know, 11, 12, whatever. I haven't read a book in even longer. I find that that media like that, which is something that a lot of people rely on to fill that void in their life, the emptiness that just is there by default, that kind of stuff just doesn't work for me. And to be honest, it doesn't work for me for a very stupid reason that probably sounds incredibly pretentious, but like, it is a very real issue for me. It's all so predictable. It's so boring. All of it. I turned into somebody who I guess you could say is too smart for their own good. I see almost everything coming whenever I try to engage with media in general, which completely saps the fun out of it. It's just gone. And then I'm left with just sitting there thinking, yeah, these are the same tropes I've seen before. These are the same tropes in a different order. There's no reason to bother with this. I've done this. It's inefficient. And then I end up as a depressed, joyless husk of a human, I guess. Remember when I was making videos on this channel? And then I stopped, and then I tried again, and then I stopped, and then I tried again, and now I've stopped again, and it's been a goddamn year. It hasn't been a year, it's only been like 9 months or however long, but it's been long enough. Remember when I made music? Yeah, I gave up on that. The universe kept telling me not to. Stupid. Remember when I worked? When I had a job that I actually liked? Yeah, me too. But it turns out if you say the dreaded union word even once, they freak out and fire you. I don't know if I've talked much about that at all since it happened on this channel, but that was a thing that happened. And it completely upended my life, and I have not been able to get it back together since. This is a dumb song. No. That's better. So, like, after all of that ranting and rambling, where does that leave me? What is that? What does that put me at? I'm alone. I'm depressed. I'm suicidal. I have obsessive-compulsive tendencies that make doing things extremely unfun and unpleasant. I have ADHD, which makes that even worse. I am absolutely autistic, which means doing anything at all is extremely difficult. And I'm so broken as a result of all of that I just drive people away by existing and praying for help, praying for somebody to listen to me. Where does this leave me? No job, no money, very few friends. I'm grateful to the ones that I have, but very few friends at this point. I don't know what to do about this. Oh, right, and no family. I have my brother. I have my brother, and by extension, my nephew, and that's it. And even then, my nephew is 5 years old, and I don't ever get to see him. So that's where I'm left. I don't know where I'm going with this. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, 1 or 2 people are actually listen all the way through and get to this point. And they either go to the comments or send me a message, like a DM, and express their concern, say they love me, say they care about me. Like, yeah, I get it. I know. I'm aware. I am painfully aware. I am aware of too many things. I am aware of so much that it hurts. Not a day goes by anymore where I don't think to myself that I understand why alcoholics do what they do. Why anybody would go and get absolutely blackout wasted. I get it more and more every day. I don't drink alcohol. I've never really drank alcohol. I tried once, I hated it, and I never did again. But, like, I get it. I get it. To just completely numb yourself to everything to the point where you physically cannot function. You don't have that option. Like, please, give me that. But also, don't give me that. Alcohol's expensive and I can't fucking afford it. I don't want to drink anyway. Alcohol fumes give me a headache. It's not worth it. There is no point to this. There's no end result. There's no end goal. There's no happy ending. There's no optimism. There's none of that. There's just me and my trash brain and my dumpster fire of a life. At this point, it's a burning landfill. It's not even a dumpster fire anymore. It got bigger. Worse. Perhaps, by some miracle, just yapping about this shit for however long it's been at this point, I can't see the timer currently, perhaps just yapping about this for however long will somehow, some way help me. It will help me process things. I don't think I need help processing things. I think I'm unfortunately very, very good at that. That's a direct result of the life-threatening food allergies as a kid and the extremely dysfunctional family that I had. I learned how to process things. Sorry, drunken dwarf. Not interested. I don't need your beer and kebab, thank you. I know I was just talking about how alcohol is expensive, but this is a video game. It doesn't count. I don't know. I'm sad. I'm tired. Sure. I'm sad. I'm tired. I'm broken. I'm alone. Maybe lonely is a better word. And I don't know what to do. I just keep existing one day at a time, and some days like today are impossible, and some days I can at least leave the apartment. But it always ends up getting worse. No matter how good it is ever, it just gets worse. It always does. This is a remarkably sad song. Part of the old school RuneScape soundtrack. This one's called Forever. Fitting for the vibe, I must say. I'm not even actually sure how well you all can hear it. I don't remember what volume exactly I set it to. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I would really like a cup of hot chocolate right now. Or a cookie. Something sweet. I don't have anything sweet in the apartment except for some grape jelly, which I'm not just going to eat grape jelly, but that's all I have. Yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna just stop talking. Yeah, I'm gonna just I'm gonna just stop talking. Thanks for listening, I guess, if you did. Maybe if I can get myself up to it. The grocery store across the street is open until 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. I have about 2 hours before they close. I could go over and buy something sweet, find some hot chocolate. So the one thing I've got going for me right now is that I do have government assistance. I have food stamps, so I can get food. But that's about it. Okay, this song is incredibly depressing, which is the perfect vibe to end this song. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing better than I am. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever's going on, I really hope you're doing better than me. I would not wish a life like this on anyone. Yeah. This sucks.